Hey SPN Family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill.
And this is Roadhouse Digits. So tonight was Season 12, Episode 4, which is called American Nightmare. And right off the bat, this episode delved more into the Catholic religion than I think any previous episode of Supernatural ever has. And frankly, I was exhausted after watching it.
It was a deep episode, and I want to say, putting away like religious background aside, because I think it explored two sides of the Catholic background, and one is what I think a modern day Catholic is, and then one is like this like crazy backwash stereotype of what the Catholic religion is. So I want to be kind of careful with that, especially like speaking as a Catholic myself. I don't support the crazy brainwash side of things, but I think where it went deep into was like the crucifixion aspect at the beginning of the episode, which was like super intense, and then we saw like the backwash side, and I want to we don't consider that the same, but it just dealt with a lot of religion stuff.
Yeah, so off the top, what I found interesting was in the the then portion, like going back, we got a lot of
so excited. We saw like
old school season one and season two flashbacks. So that kind of got me thinking like, oh, okay. Because I think coming into this episode, I was kind of expecting it just to be like a filler episode. And then when I saw like the flashbacks prior to the cold open, I was like, oh, this might actually be pretty interesting. And damn, like Passion of the Christ right off the bat.
It was really intense. It was a really great one-off, but it also had like things alluding to future episodes. And it was a really long time since we've seen talk about the psychic abilities. One of my favorite parts in this was when Sam was locked in the room with the girl. He's like, "You're just a psychic. I'm a psychic too." And I'm just yelling at the TV screen like, "Dude, you haven't been a psychic in like 8 years." And she's like, "Really? You can do something?" He's like, I don't know if I still can, but yeah.
Yeah. So the what appeared to me the central theme of this particular episode was the element of, or the decision of, do you split up a family or do you keep a family together?
Oh my God.
What's the healthier decision in the long run? And we saw kind of Dean was very regretful, I guess, of mom
taking
abandoning them temporarily, but
he reacted the same way that Dean always reacts, right? When Dad left, he felt like it was his fault, and he felt like, why wasn't this good enough? When Sam left, he felt abandoned. He's feeling the same thing now that his mom left. He does not like splitting up family. We know this. We've seen this. He's growing. It was so great, though. And then on the flip side, to see Sam getting really upset about saying, like, okay, this family was, like, holding them back and being stuck in this family unit. And it really felt like it was drawing up their memories of their prejudiced sides, both points of view, and both of them acting hasty in what they just naturally feel is right.
So, what about the Petersons? Like, what a sad story that turned out to be.
Oh my gosh. So how much did that remind you of the Benders? Do you remember the Benders?
No. Remind me who the Benders were again.
Oh! The Benders, the crazy human wash family that like hunted people for a living. Like they just hunted people.
Oh yes, yeah.
It was like
yes.
The episode The Benders, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of like this sick.
They were like the freaks that had that house like kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And they were like hunting people for fun. Yes.
And it just remembered me of a line that Dean said back in that episode when Sam was like, "I don't get it. There's no pattern," and Dean's like, "Well, that's the thing. Like with people are crazy." And that sort of, had me a reminding of this. It was really tough to watch the scenes. I guess we asked for it. It's like a careful what you wish for. Like we asked for Supernatural last week to amp it up.
Yeah.
You want to talk about difficult scenes to watch? Like messed up mother making daughter like beat herself.
That and the dinner scene at the end.
And like the rat poisoning at the end. good scenes though, like intense.
Oh, it was heavy.
It was heavy, but it was.
Yeah, this was not for the
faint heart.
The faint heart. If you're looking for like one of those lighthearted comedic episodes, this was not it.
This. And I love that this show can do something that's like on one episode you get a French mistake, something so lighthearted, so funny, and then you get an episode like this, and you're like, this is very, very intense, super intense episode, and I really loved it. Let's talk about a little bit before we go into like the full-on plot and everything. How much did you enjoy the whole texting thing with Mary?
Oh, it was cute.
I thought it was adorable. And it was like Dean had like text regret. It was so wonderfully like 18 or like 15-year-old anxiety, sorry to our younger watchers, of like when you send a text.
Oh, totally.
And then you immediately are like, oh, did I send the wrong
totally what
thing?
It is, yeah.
And it's something, and it's not only for teenagers, adults get it too, but I definitely think that's something you get, you
100%.
know, a little bit more when you're insecure and you're not sure. And I love that it took till the end of the episode, so it took a few days, and it was so Mary to be like, yeah, I didn't realize we have to charge these phones. I'm super guilty of like not being the best person to text people back. But then you get more of Dean's, like, realization of freaking out, like, oh, man, that was a stupid text. She doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah. I feel like the time apart that Mary's going to have from her 2 kids is going to be beneficial for them in the long run.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely beneficial.
She'll make a triumphant return, you know, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
No Cass or Crowley this week, so they're kind of just, you know...
They're teaming up
and... doing their thing. Just a little mention of a phone call to be, but other than that, they were not in this episode, which is fine. And then the other, you know, big sticking point is there was that guy riding the motorcycle about halfway through the episode, and you called it right away. He's like, "Oh, that's the Mr. Catch guy."
I was like, "It's definitely."
I like because we saw it. It was episode 2. Yeah, it was episode 2 that we saw that at the very, very end, you know, he's, you know, packing a suitcase and, you know, full of weapons, and he had the cross tattoo on his hand. And I was like, man, that guy doesn't really strike me as the kind of guy to ride a motorcycle. Well,
I was like, oh yeah, he rides.
Yeah, I know, I was completely incorrect on that.
He wants. So boom, if you were like me and you called it as Mr. Catch from not from the end scene. From the first...
In the middle of the episode when they're studying the little Ohio license plate on the back of the Impala. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so that kind of sucked that girl Magda just like dead at the end of the episode.
And I knew it was going to happen. Like you knew she was going to die, but I really... that's like one of the worst things. The 2 things... that forever I will never get over. I understand why it happens as far as moving a plot forward, but from just a fan perspective, these are one of the top 2 things, like pet peeve things that happen in shows. One is when a character, like a main character, has like this huge secret, and if he told another character, it would totally fix their relationship, and then they finally tell that character, and then their memory gets wiped. Like, that's my number 1 pet peeve. And my number 2 pet peeve is when you get these awesome characters, these super great characters that you think they're going to get a, like, new chance at life, and, like, they had a tough time, they overcame it, and we're going to give them a second chance, and then we just kill them off at the end of the episode. And I get why they did it. I don't have issues with why they did it as far as moving a plot point forward. It's just... I knew it was going to happen. I'm like, don't kill her. Hasn't she been through enough?
Yeah, I mean, what it tells us is that British men of letters, they don't F around.
No, they don't.
No, any sign of anything other than human and...
You gone.
Done.
Eliminate the problem.
That's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah. That's the big problem this season. And just another on, like, the side notes.
Tolerating. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was really fun to see a little bit so Sam could have his talk at the end, and they needed a reason for that. And I thought it was a perfect reason having the girl that Dean was going to shoot give her his number. I thought that was great, classic Dean moment. I would like to see more of that because that used to be a lot of the fun of Dean's character.
Early on, yeah.
Early Dean's character, and it kind of just sort of faded away. So I sort of like that they're bringing that element of it back as well. So I think we are ready for our rating of the episode.
I've got a number.
All right. I've got my number through fingers. People can kind of see if they're staring at the table, but where are you at?
9.
9. Wow, that's
What'd
really
you have?
high.
I didn't see.
had like 7.
7?
So, but here's the thing. I was debating between a 7 and an 8. As like a standoff, it was really, really intense. So I will give you that.
It was one of the heaviest episodes that we've seen in a while.
That's true. I feel like I would want to go back and rewatch it. So maybe I'm gonna give it an 8. The thing is, I say like my 9s. Like 9s are gonna be for me really, really tough. But I agree. It should be higher than a 7. I'm gonna switch my answer to 8.
That's fair.
Can we go to 8?
We can go to 8.
Okay, so 8 Impalas. Which, by the way, I feel like I'm a tough grader. Only because I want the best episodes to get, like, to be put on the pedestal they deserve. Yep. And if you give everything the highest score, there's no pedestal for those to stand on. So 8 Impalas out of 10. Crazy good episode, though. So you're definitely right. Yes. Thank you for fixing this and making my score go higher because I'm definitely going to go back and rewatch this episode again. But it's a hard one to watch. Yep. Like, there's certain episodes that are easy to go back again.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you knew it was Mr. Ketch, what you thought of the whole text messaging thing. What side do you fall on? This is a little not supernatural related, but I'm really curious. Do you fall on the side that texts always back immediately and then you're like waiting for someone to respond, which is like him? Or are you like me, who will forget to charge their phone and then be forever to text you back and then I feel really guilty? So let us know which side you fall on. We're probably both guilty of being one of the two. You're super eager.
And we're both on the extreme side of that spectrum, too.
Extreme sides, which is terrible.
I'm like, why won't she answer me? And you're like, I'll get it later. And then your phone dies. And Taylor like, I'll charge my phone later.
I know, it's really terrible. So I think like one of the last times I like turned my phone on from being charged, it was like 23 missed messages, 7 missed calls. Yeah. It's really bad. All right, guys, so let us know in the comments below which side you fall. Subscribe to our videos so you can catch these every week. Thanks for stopping by the Roadhouse this week.
Carry on and have a wayward week, folks.